Good evening to everyone present here tonight in Malaysia. My name is Siu Yu and I will be your host for tonight. On behalf of the JPO family, we'd like to extend a warm welcome to everyone tuning in for tonight's broadcast. We hope that everyone is doing well and staying safe indoors. A friendly reminder to maintain good hygiene at all times and maintain social distancing when heading out. To anyone who is interested in sharing tonight's broadcast, a live feed is being shared on the JPO YouTube channel. Do like and subscribe and the channel so you can receive live notifications. If you have any questions you'd like to ask, please feel free to type them out in the Q&A section down below in Zoom and the chat box in YouTube. A recording of the webinar will also be uploaded onto the channel later on. Mei Foong's voice was described as mellow, dulcet, and soothing to the listeners. A multiple award-winning soprano, she was awarded the Silver Medal Winner Award, Outstanding Achievement in the Global Music Award, the Golden Medal Award, Voice category, from the Berliner International Music Competition. In 2018, she was bestowed with the title Cavaliere, a Knight of the Order of Star of Italy, a prestigious recognition by the Italian government of her outstanding achievements in vocal art, followed with the Best Solo Performance Vocal Award in the 16th Boch Cameronian Arts Awards 2019 and the National Academics Awards, the category of Performing Arts, by Ministry of Education Malaysia, in which the award was presented by Tun Dr. Mahathir in 2019. As an active recitalist, Mei Foong has given several well-received solo recitals in Kuala Lumpur, Taiwan, Macau, Rome, and Melbourne, where she had several performances. She also often holds the position as the soprano soloist and has performed Handel's Ode for Saint Cecilia's Day, Handel's Messiah, and the Beethoven Symphony No. 9. She is the founder and artistic director of the Song Weavers, the Malaysian first vocal ensemble that is dedicated to the performance and programming of art songs. Her opera performances had also been warmly received. She has performed the title role in Bizet's Carmen, the mother in Menotti's Amal, and the Night Visitors, Mimi in Puccini's La Bohème, and many more. While enjoying her busy performance career, she holds the position as senior lecturer in University Putra Malaysia (UPM). Apart from teaching, she is also an active researcher in the field of voice rehabilitation and vocal hygiene. Tonight's interview features Dr. Ang with her topic about an international acclaimed vocalist from the stage to the field. As our JPO family attendees are mostly students ranging from primary school to college, their parents and their teachers, the sharing of knowledge and advice you have for all of us is invaluable and greatly appreciated. The JPO is very honored to have Dr. Ang joining in as our guest for tonight. I hope that you will all join me in giving her a warm welcome. Welcome, Dr. Ang.
Hi, hello, Siyu, and hi, everyone. Glad to be here.
Yes, nice to meet you too. So without further ado, thank you so much for joining us today again. And to start off today's interview, what can you tell us about the video we had just watched?
Right, that was a performance I gave 2-3 years ago. I can't quite remember. But in recent years, I was performing this Un bel dì vedremo from the opera Madama Butterfly by Puccini, and this was in Taiwan. So I was performing with the Soochow University Music Department Orchestra in the World Chinese Vocalist Competition final recital, where I was not one of the competitors. I mean, I was not the contestant. I was one of the juries, and in the end, some of the juries was invited to perform as well. So I was one of them. So I gave this performance together with the finalist and the other juries as well. So this was several years ago in Taipei, Taiwan. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing us about the video. So can you tell us about your musical journey? Can you share about it?
Yeah, sure. I've prepared slides just to share you some photos. Okay, let me share the screen now. Can you see that?
Yes.
All right, so here's all you may want to know. So who am I? In the theater, in a concert hall, I'm an opera singer. I'm a classical singer. And at the university, I am a senior lecturer. I'm lecturing at University Putra Malaysia in Kuala Lumpur. And at the research field, I'm actually still an active researcher in the field of voice research. So my research interests falls mainly in the area of voice rehabilitation, music and medicine, and music for community well-being. And at home, I'm actually a wife, a mother of 2 cheeky children, and a daughter. So in my performance career, I'm managed by both local artist management by Miss Li Hui, and international artist management. I'm actually managed by Manhattan Concert Artist. So as a performer, I have I've been performing several times and still actively performing with many producers, including the Kuala Lumpur City Opera. I'm one of their principal singers, the Malaysian Philharmonic Orchestra as soloist, and other independent producers in Malaysia. So here are some photos I would like to share with you. This was me in the Carmen production with the MPO. And this was also me in the production of La Traviata as the Violetta. in the Kuala Lumpur City Opera production the year before the lockdown. And this was me performing the Magic Flute with the MPO, and this was me performing the La Contessa from the Marriage of Figaro with KLCO as well, the Kuala Lumpur City Opera. And these two last photos shows the smallest one at the most left was me performing Carmen with Kuala Lumpur City Opera as well, and another photo of me performing with one of my favorite colleagues, Chiho, doing a concert together with MPO. So these are some photos. And this is my first album collecting the Malaysian art songs. Right. So, and as a classical singer, I also started and founded this group named The Song Weavers, where we are the first song voice ensemble that dedicates to performing and programming art song performances. So the other photos that you've seen just now, they falls mainly into the category of opera performances and stage and concert performance. And in this group, I perform a lot of the art songs together with my colleagues. Apart from doing the Western art songs, we are also very dedicated to performing and encouraging the local art songs, which is the Malaysian art songs. Right, so that's all about my performance career.
Thank you. I'm a bit curious about what's the difference between opera and classical
songs?
Classical like opera singers and classical singers. How do you like sing, or what kind of piece music do you sing?
All right. Normally, when we say classical singers, well, actually, classical, this term is it carries a broad definition. When we say classical, in a narrow definition, especially if you are from a Western musical education background, what your first impression is always the Western tradition or the Western classical singing, which is the the performance that you've just watched just now. So that is the classical, Western classical. But actually, in a broader definition, classical can mean Indian classical singing or the Chinese classical singing, which sits in a totally different genre. So if we talk about what I am doing and what many people perceive classical singing is, especially those that had this prior training from the Western classical music background. It is more of the singing style, what we call the bel canto singing style. So the bel canto singing style is very prominently having this style that you've just heard from my performance video just now. So it's like very high, very broad, and we normally sing without amplifiers, without mics, and we need to make sure that our voice projects in a large concert hall, and the pitch range is very wide, from very high to very low. And the accompaniment instruments can be ranging from an orchestra to a smaller ensemble, for example, like string quartet, or even with just the piano, something like that. So that is what we call a classical singing in the narrower definition. While opera is a stage performance that is with a story line. So normally we are in costume and we are playing a role in the performance, and we are trying to tell a story. So just like a play, it is just like a theater play, but we are singing it out. Yeah, and that is different from doing an art song, because art song we normally do without any acting. So it's normally being carried out in a concert attire, which is what you are seeing on the slide. So we're normally on a concert attire, so it's just dress, and the difference between art song and opera is that opera, we have libretto, where the storylines are put down with like a dialogue lines, and then we're singing out the dialogues. And in art songs, normally the music is composed with poems. So we're actually singing poems. And we don't act when we sing poems. This is the more conventional way of performing an art song. But nowadays, some people, they do try to tell a story when they sing an art song by acting it out. But that, I would say, that is not conventional. That's also very new and very experimental. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you very much. It makes a difference between, yeah, I understand. I can differentiate opera singer and classical singer now, and how it does and how is it performed. Yes, thank you.
All right.
Okay, so because you have, like, in your brief introduction, I've seen that you have different roles. So is it possible to tell us about what other role do you play?
Okay, so apart from being a performer, I am also a full-time senior lecturer with the University Putra Malaysia, and these are the courses that I teach in UPM. So this is me with my students. So they are my vocal students, and one of my students just won in a voice competition. So these are also my students, where we performed in several different concerts, and we also went to perform in China. And so you can see that they are in very beautiful costume. And in the middle, in the bottom middle, you can see that our students are also performing with some people on their wheelchair. If you can see that photo, and students are also helping the performer, going up to the stage. The performers was on the wheelchair. These performers are from my Parkinson's choir, and so I will talk more about that later. But what I wanted to say here is that our students also had the opportunity to work with the other cohort in the community, and where we also put up concerts together. So these are like my other roles and my other lives apart from being a performer on the stage. And so this is a short clip of them performing. I can show just a quick one to you. So that was me conducting. So you can see that I have a different role now. So being the choral director and also the choral conductor when I brought them to perform in China. So there are different themes that I want our choir to work at. So these are some themes which I won't go through one by one, but you can see that. Right. Okay. So apart from that, I am also an active researcher. My first research project was voice rehabilitation for the people with Parkinson's disease. And I worked very closely with the Malaysian Parkinson's Disease Association, where we designed a music-based voice intervention protocol for the people with Parkinson's disease for their voice rehabilitation. One of the symptoms of the Parkinson's disease is that the patients are prone to lose their voice when the disease progresses. So we wanted to help them maintain their good voice, because having a good voice can mean a lot of other things, just beyond that, you are just having a good voice. Having a good voice means that you're able to maintain a good muscular control over your own body, so that you can voice. The ability to be able to speak and to voice and to sing is the ability that you are able to control your muscle. So this is long story in short. So the ability to voice, and when this ability faded, there are other risks that could follow. For example, there could be risks like swallowing problem, because these are the muscles that you are using when you are speaking, as well as when you are swallowing. So when there is the risk of swallowing, it can be life-threatening. So we wanted to help them maintain a good voice. In another word, to help them maintain a good muscle control over these muscles, so that they can maintain a healthier life. So we are using a music-based voice rehab protocol for them to rehab their voice, and also to maintain a good muscular control. So this is what I do in my research, and it's still ongoing, and I'm still working very closely with them. Oh yeah, and also I would like to share with you that in April, it's the World Parkinson's Day, so we commemorate Parkinson's disease, and we talk a lot about Parkinson's disease in April, so this is the perfect time for me to share more about this with you. And as a researcher, I also concern a lot on the topic of music for community well-being. So apart from working with the Parkinson's patients, I also venture into working with the community of the less privileged people, the B40. The B40 means the lower income group in Malaysia, and we are trying to see that if music can help them in any way. And my other research interests includes vocal hygiene, voice literature, and voice performance research. So voice hygiene includes topics like the vocal health, for example, the vocal health for the school teachers. This is a very under-researched topic in Malaysia, so we wanted to see whether or not our school teachers are aware of their vocal health, and whether or not they are keeping a good hygiene, a good vocal hygiene. And one of my master students is doing this topic, and we are very excited to work with the Malaysian primary school teachers at the moment. And voice literature and voice performance research, this closely related to my stage performance, where we research into the vocal literature. And one of my most interest topic is the Malaysian art song research, and I also think that this is very much under research, and we need very many people who would like to dedicate their work, or their research in this field. So I would like to also share with you some photos where I'm working with the Parkinson's patients. So okay, so that was taken from the Malaysian Parkinson's Disease Association, and the video is used by permission. And I always work closely with them. So now during the pandemic, we are still maintaining our session online, and so that you can see we have this Zoom online session at the right side. Right, so that's me with the Parkinson's Disease Association. And the community projects, I also involved in this music program called the Music Painting Project, where we are trying to help the urban poor with artistic expression, through percussion and singing. So we are targeting on the urban poverty. Right, and this program is a specific music program catered for the B40. As I said, B40 is the lower income group in Malaysia, And we are providing a platform for leisure activities that is beneficial and to instill positive living. And we would also like to uphold the cross-generational bond through the art of musicking. We also utilize music as a tool of embedding and to improve psychosocial well-being. And then, yeah, so these actually, some past research articles that talks about how music can help with the urban poor and so on and so forth. My other roles in the community work is that I am an advisor to Dongzhong Curriculum Division. So at the moment, I am the advisor to them, and I also write the latest music curriculum for them. Yeah, I think that's all my other roles apart from being a performer on the stage.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I like when I saw this music education in Dongzhong, because I'm graduated from
Private school?
Duzhong, so yes, I know, but I know we have music classes, but not as many as, or not as like as I think we don't go like really into having singing, like proper singing competitions. I think, let me recall, I don't think I've joined or seen any proper singing competitions, but I really hope that because I'm from Sabah, Kota Kinabalu, so I think there is gonna be a bit different from the West. So hopefully we will, and the school can bring more and of music education in.
Yeah, I totally understand. I actually have done research on the current states of the Malaysian Chinese private high schools, the implementation of music education in all the Chinese private high schools in Malaysia. I've done a national survey many years ago. That was 2005. And the most recent survey was done last year, but the report is still in the process of writing. So the report is not out yet. So I am very much up to the date and pretty much know what's happening in all the schools or the private high schools in Malaysia. So in total, we have 61 plus 1 now of Chinese private high schools in Malaysia, all over Malaysia, including the Semenanjung and the East Malaysia. I definitely see the differences between the Semenanjung schools and the East Malaysia. So not to say the Semenanjung East Malaysia, there are also prominent differences in the northern central region and the southern region in the Semenanjung. And we need a lot of people to work together into upbringing, the whole of the development of music education in the Chinese private high schools. We have just formed our community members last year. Actually, 2 years ago, the year before the lockdown, and just right before the lockdown, and then we have the lockdown and everything. But anyway, we are still progressing. So we are actually now writing a new curriculum for the schools. But writing curriculum is one thing, and to make this new curriculum implemented in a good way is another challenge. So there are many different works to do and many different challenges that we are facing definitely down the road. But we also, I'm very optimistic about this, and I think that we definitely will find ways out of it, and we will be doing better and better. If you ask me to compare, my finding from 2005 until to compare it to now, I would say that I can see that the quality has become much better, and the amount of music teachers now are more compared to 10 or 15 years ago, and the quality of good music teachers are also getting more. So it is good. I always face this. I always see this very optimistically also. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, so Just a little reminder to all the audience. So feel free to put in your questions in the Q&A box in Zoom or the chat box in YouTube, and we will help to answer it later in the Q&A section. So next, Dr. Ang, can you tell us what drives you into the world of music research?
So after my bachelor's degree, I always wanted to do a master's degree. And at that time, I wanted to do performance because this is where we started. You know, you go on a stage and then you thought that you wanted to improve your performance skill and all that. So I did that and I finished that with a Master of Music Performance from the University of Melbourne. And then from there, actually, I was also exposed to more of the world of research. I took the research methodology where I was introduced to the wide research world in musicological research. And then that also kind of like opens up my a curiosity, you know, of wanted to know more about what we can do apart from just being a performer on the stage. And at that time, I was thinking if I were going to continue you know, to a further degree, I would like to do something that is very closely related to things that's happening in Malaysia. And I wanted to do a topic that is very much related to Malaysia. But at that time, I don't know what to do yet. And I finished my study and I came back to Malaysia and start to work. And you know, life goes on until I had this opportunity to pick up my PhD again. And then so without any second thought, I think, so I immediately make a decision thinking that I would definitely do a topic that's related to Malaysia. But I actually started with music education because as you have just heard, I have done a survey in 2005. That was very many years ago. And I thought to proceed on from there. But sometimes life brings you surprises where I was introduced to one of my colleagues, Dr. Indra, who was just freshly graduated from the States and came back to work and reported to work back in UPM. And her expertise is in medical music therapy, where also I was very much interested into the thing that she's doing. But not until when she shared that she actually has a program called that she wanted to bring anyone interested, you know, from our department to sing with Parkinson's patients. Yeah. So, you know, this word sparks my interest, like sing, because that's what I do, right? I sing and I teach singing. Yeah. So I told her, yes, you know, I'll follow you and I'll see what I can do. So I followed her to the Malaysian Parkinson's Disease Association, and after several attempts and after several work together, I decided that I want to do a topic that is on that, you know, which is what I've just elaborated just now. You know, the benefits of music-based intervention for the people with Parkinson's. So that's a little story about, you know, how I get started into music research, and now I would say I'm getting more and more interested to that. I still consider myself a very baby researcher, you know, having just passed my PhD. Now it's 2 years ago, but there are still a lot of things to learn in the field of research. So many things to do, and just so many possibilities as well. Yeah. So right. So that's about me in my research world.
Hey, thank you. Like because I know that you have 2 kids, and doing your research and your PhD and participating in so many things, how did you balance everything? It sounds so hard.
A lot of people ask me this question. I honestly do not know. When I was in the progress, I never think of like, how am I ever going to manage things? I never thought of that question. I just do things one by one, and I am. Can I say I am? I was a very busy performer, at least before the pandemic, because now we don't have any performances to do. So I was. So at times I had like 13, 14, even 15, 16 productions per year. So that's quite a lot. So if you say the year before lockdown, I had 16 performances in 2019. So that was more than 2 performances each month. And when I say productions, sometimes it means one whole opera, and that will take you 1 or 2 months away from starting to rehearse until the production ends. Yeah, so that's I would say, if you look back, when I look back, I would feel like, wow, that's like a lot of work. But when I was in that progress, I never thought of like whether I can handle or not, or whether that is a lot or not. So but of course, if that is too much, I would say no. But at that time, I thought I can still take it and do that, so I did. But I think what encouraged me, or what is in my motto, is that when I'm doing my work, I'm just concentrating on that work. For example, if I'm rehearsing my opera, I'm just concentrating on the music and the rehearsal itself. I won't think of like, oh my God, I have like 10 assignments to do and two chapters to write later. So I won't think of other things. So it's also the same when I'm doing my thesis. So when I write my thesis, I'll just put away all my performances, and I stop practicing totally, just to dedicate my time and to focus on writing. I was also a columnist. I've been writing for Sinchu, a music column, for 2-3 years actually. Yeah, so that took quite a lot of my time also. So when I was doing that, I also dedicate my time like solely on doing that. I never thought of other things. And you know, time with family, definitely you have time for that. So when it's time to fetch my children from school, so nothing will, you know, will come. So that's mainly, you know, fetching children. Sometimes if I need to attend rehearsals, then I would let my husband know, and he will pick up the children from school, things like that. So you need a lot of communication, and definitely my family helped me a lot. For example, if I need to pick up my children every day, then I would not be able to attend rehearsals. So it's a mutual kind of you know, you help me, I help you. It's family, right? Yeah. So yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, arrange time management and everything. Yeah, it's really important. So I don't think just for you. I think for everyone, either students or people who are working, or people who has family, or everything. Yeah.
Exactly. I think a lot of people, maybe they are doing this while they are thinking of another, you know, and the sense of guilt is always there, and maybe that's not good. Yeah. So I always tell myself, if I cannot achieve to the end, it is okay. It is totally okay. I just need to achieve a little step, you know, one baby step, and I can take 1 month to arrive to that end. It is totally okay. So don't have that sense of guilt, you know, to walk together with you, and don't have that sense of, you know, negative emotions that walk together with you. You just need to face that positively, and it is okay if you can't do that. You know, you just do it tomorrow, things like that. So don't force yourself. You know, try to be kind to yourself and do it slowly, step by step, one thing at a time.
Yes, thank you very much. So can you tell us, what do you think of a musician's social responsibility, and how does one get started? How is it?
Yeah, it's quite a big question. Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, you know, being a musician, we always think of the community and society. I think all of us and whoever is listening to this broadcast know that a lot of times musicians are doing fundraising concerts for a lot of different cohorts and different groups who needs money and all that. So I think being a musician, a lot of us are already trained of the social responsibility. But I think it is also time for us to think from a different angle. And it is about how we use music itself for the people who may need that. So it's not about money, but it's about how music can go into one's life. Because this is the case in Malaysia. A lot of times people still think that music is only for the privileged youngsters or people, you know, where if the family can't afford that, then they can't have it. But I think music is for everyone. So if you're a musician, so do think of how you can contribute to that. It needs a lot of creativity. So I think, you know, being a musician, we just need to think of, you know, always challenge ourselves into what music can do apart from what it can be done now. Yeah, so we always need to go across that boundary and think of what other things can be done. Yeah, I think I can't really give a very firm answer, but this is a constant question that should be put in everyone's mind. And especially now, music therapy is very new, still very new in Malaysia. So I think that if all of us can think of the music value in this way, which is the music therapeutic, you know, value, that would be good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how does one get started? I think we just start small and things will get rolled on. Yeah. So we can just start from wherever you know, and yeah. But yeah, I would like to also reiterate that doing that needs a lot of knowledge and skills as well. It is not just that you can go into a therapeutic setting, just, you know, with your own musical skills. That is not enough yet. So one needs to have knowledge and skills in the discipline of music therapy, yeah, which is quite new. So that's why I would like to invite all of the musicians, the Malaysian musicians, to venture into this and to try to get more, you know, knowledge and skills in that.
Yes. Thank you very much. Because I know that there's not much music therapy courses back in Malaysia, and I only heard because I'm personally I'm not in Malaysia now. I'm further studying out overseas. So after I came out, like where I study overseas, I just found out there's not it's the same. It's not, they don't have many. Not all the universities have music therapy courses. So I don't expect Malaysia to have music therapy like courses in universities, because we are still developing, and it's a very, like, just like what you said, it's a very new thing in Malaysia.
It's a very new discipline, yeah. But in UPM, we do offer introduction to music therapy, even though it is not a course on its own. For example, in University of Melbourne, they do offer the course of music therapy as a bachelor degree, as a bachelor program. So in UPM, we have the introduction to music therapy, and I think some of the other colleges or universities may have the course as well. But in UPM, we do have many research that is related to music therapy. Yeah, and I also know that in USM, our good colleague, Dr. Gary, is doing some related research in music-based therapeutic programs or something like that also. Yeah, so I think we are starting, which is good, but we need more people.
Yes, thank you very much. So coming to our last question here, as you may have heard, the Jesselton Philharmonic Orchestra has involved itself in a variety of activities. On behalf of the JPO, we would like to ask your views on the JPOs and its activities. Additionally, how would you suggest the JPO and its members to further improve itself?
Okay, yeah, from what I know, that but what I was told, JPO, one of the programs I love the most by JPO is the outreach program, you know, where the JPO is teaching over 200 underprivileged students, you know, weekly and free of charge, isn't it? For free with instruments provided. And these students are from 7 outreach sites. The furthest away is 1 hour ferry ride from Singapore, which is quite far away from Sabah. So I can't really imagine like how teachers can travel from Sabah to Singapore. Like 1 hour ferry ride from Singapore is almost like Singapore already, right? So that is amazing, and I really love this, and I have a lot of respect to this as well. How to say? Because JPO, the first impression is that they are an orchestra, where they perform and just learn to perform, but there is already this connection and this sense of community linkage, and also the responsibility maybe to disseminate and to teach music widely, especially to the underprivileged. So I really think this is very, very good. I have no other comments than just compliments, honestly.
Yes. Thank you. We have maybe later on, we have, just to let you know, we do have volunteers, like teachers, volunteers from Singapore. So sometimes it's easier for them to just go from Singapore.
Exactly. Then, yeah. But that talks about connection, right? Yeah. So
yes,
that's very good connection. Yeah. That talks about how JPO is outreaching. So awesome.
Yes. All right. So now we are gonna move into the Q&A section. So there are some questions here asked. So here, I think it's from Dr. Gary Kwan. So he's asking.
Not sure whether he's still online.
Yeah, hopefully he's still online. I think this is from, it's from YouTube, so I think he's watching the live. Okay, so he was saying, Dr. Mei Foong, thank you for your sharing, like your experience and passion. Can you share some tips on how you juggle with so many tasks together? And because of the, besides, the COVID-19 impacted your work?
All right, I think his first question was your first question as well. I thought, I answered it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and did COVID impact my work in a certain way? But slowly I find ways to try to overcome that. For example, initially our Parkinson's choir had to stop because of the COVID, because of lockdown. But because the lockdown had been too long, so we thought we have to try to do something, and because as most of us know, Parkinson's disease affects most elderly. So most of the Parkinson's patients are above 60, but we do have a younger patients. But still, it affects most of the elderly. So the ability of the elderly to get online and to get used to all this new technology can be quite a challenge at the beginning. But when things progress and when they get used to doing online sessions, I think it is better than none. So they get used to it and they request for more, and they also happily look forward for our weekly session. So I would say in the beginning, yes, it did impacted a little, but then we slowly pick up. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And next from Wayne. So he's asking, what pathway do you apply to study in Italy?
Pathway. Not too sure what pathway means here, but I applied directly to the Conservatoire of Rome. So I just applied directly, and they asked me to go for an audition, which I did, and then I was in.
Sorry, do you have to learn any Italian or any languages in order to go in?
Definitely, but they do not request because studying in Italy is different from studying in other English-speaking countries. For other English-speaking countries, the system is more developed, I would say. For example, the IELTS exam and the TOEFL exams these two exams are being accepted in most of the English-speaking countries. There is no such language test yet during my time in Italy, so there is no requirement of any sort of documents. But when you are auditioned, the only language that they use is Italian. So you just got to make sure that you understand what they ask you, and you can speak and you can respond to them in Italian. Yeah, so to make sure that I can understand them and to respond to them, and also I know that the courses will all be conducted in Italian. I went there to study for several months before the audition, purely every day language classes before the audition and before the semester starts. Yeah, so they don't quite require you for TOEFL, very high level TOEFL. It's just that you are able to speak, understand. So that's all. So it's quite basic, I would say. Yeah.
Yes.
For the language.
Conversations.
Yes.
Yep. Okay, thank you. I hope it answers Wayne's question. And next one from Liang Shen. So, hi, Dr. Ang. Would you consider yourself as a coloratura soprano?
Coloratura soprano. Mm-hmm.
Coloratura soprano. And do you have any a favorite operatic role?
From my training, I would say that coloratura is a technique. Yeah. So coloratura means the ability for the voice to be agile, for the voice to run. Yeah. So when I say for the voice to run, it means that we are able to sing very quickly, something like that. Yeah. So it's not like just long notes and long phrase. I would say that this is one of the vocal techniques where all the voices need to have. Although many people think that coloratura is a voice type where most people perceive it as a very light voice, for example, a very light soprano. But I would say that for me, it is more of a voice technique. So you would hear coloratura in also baritone, and in dramatic soprano, for example, some people say some roles as a dramatic coloratura. For example, Violetta, people would say that it should be done by a dramatic, dramatic coloratura, something like that. But there are many different, ways of talk. So I don't really perceive myself as a light coloratura, but I would say I am a lyrical soprano, a pure lyrical soprano, which is in my later career, my later years in the career, I can perhaps develop into spinto, which I don't really want to venture so early into that. But I do need to make sure and maintain my ability to run, the voice agile in my voice, because being able to run means that you are still having a youthful and healthy voice. Yeah, it's just like you are able to run. Yeah, you are still having a youthful body. So yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope it answers the questions for Liang Shen.
And good to see you, Liang Shen. Yeah, all these people that I know.
Okay, nice. All right, so thank you again, Dr. Ang, so much for all your responses. But I'm very sorry, everyone. We're coming to the end of tonight's broadcast. We would like to remind everyone that our JPO Family program will be broadcasted twice a week until further notice. Join us next time with our next guest, as will be posted near the time. More details can be found on our Facebook page. A video recording of tonight's broadcast will also be available on the YouTube channel, along with past webinars and the soon-to-be broadcasted interviews. So feel free to share the Zoom webinar registration link, JPO YouTube channel, and the JPO Facebook page with your friends and family. For for our YouTube audience, if you are enjoying your program, please show your support by pressing the like and subscribe button down below. You guys have been an amazing audience. We from the JPO family wishes that everyone stays safe and healthy as facing this crisis together. I will lead the prayer to end tonight's program. So please pray in whatever faith you believe in regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the wonderful time we had tonight, and I hope that you bless Dr. Ang in all her career, her music career, her path, her teaching, her research, and everything. In no matter now, in the present, or in the future, we pray that everyone to stay strong during this pandemic and giving us strength to overcome during these difficult times. And I thank you, Lord, for everything you provide, the protection and healthy bodies for everyone to fight this pandemic. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So thank you very much, Dr. Ang, for sharing such a wonderful topic with us tonight. And thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We'll see everyone next time. So good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.